Yo, yo, it's Coco. Welcome to AGT Time. I am Cody Mims. Thank you to Tyra Banks for that catchphrase suggestion. Here with me to talk about semifinals week one is Cody Patterson.
You might have a big forehead, but I've got big lips.
Yes, of course. The ultimate combo brought together by Preacher Lawson. How'd you feel about this first semifinals episode?
I felt pretty good about it. We're really getting to the meat of stuff now. It's getting to the point where I feel I'm a little bit disappointed to start seeing some of these acts go home. The previous weeks, I was kind of excited to see some acts go home, but there's some of these I've really grown to enjoy now, and I'm hating to see that we now have to send them home.
Yeah, I agree. I forgot how much bigger and better everything is in semifinals, and I think a lot of acts stepped it up to a degree that surprised me. So I'd give this one a B plus.
Yeah, I'd probably be right on there, if maybe not an A minus.
Awesome. So our first act of the night was Yoli Mayer, and she said in her intro she was gonna get this one stripped back, and I mean, I guess it was kind of stripped back. She still looked pretty fancy. It looked kind of just like a normal performance. But what did you think?
Yeah, she looked kind of similar to what she did in quarterfinals where she wore the red dress. I'm not sure how much more stripped back she can get than that. It looked not as fancy as she was in auditions when she was wearing the necklace. This time she sang So You Won't Let Go by James Arthur, and Simon made a comment that this guy had done one of his competitions, and it looked like he was in the X Factor in 2012.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know this. I don't watch the X Factor, so I wasn't aware of that. But since Simon mentioned that this guy was on one of his shows, had to go find out. One thing I did notice that she was wearing was sneakers. Did you notice that?
I did not. That's cool.
Yeah, so she had a dress, kind of a black and white dress, and then she was wearing sneakers that matched it. So I guess you can get a little more casual by wearing sneakers. I guess the only other thing would be barefoot, but she did that in auditions.
Right. So yeah, that's kind of how the presentation was. I kind of did not find anything about this performance interesting, though. It didn't grab me at all.
Yeah, I thought it was just nice. And I'm gonna kind of talk about this on the singers. I started this with Mike Young at the very end. I just when we got to him, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of jump just to talk about that because it's gonna kind of lead into what I'm gonna talk about on the rest of these singers. But I watched this twice, and the first time through, when we got to Mike Young, I just sat back and just listened. I didn't watch him. I just kind of listened to it like I would do on like you did on the radio. So when I watched it the second time, I did the same thing with the other singers to kind of see how I felt about just their singing and not the way they looked, not their presentation, but just the sound of their voice. And I actually felt like it was a little bit better just listening to it and not watching her.
That's interesting. NBC would love that strategy because it's like the blind auditions on The Voice.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like because they talk about, oh, we would enjoy listening to you on the radio or singing along with you on the radio and record deals, but all those you're not seeing the person, you're just hearing the person. So I want to try that as a strategy the next couple of weeks, just to see if my tune on these singers kind of changes. Because it for Yoli, it went from it was nice to I actually enjoyed it.
All right, cool. Well, I look forward to hearing how that experiment goes. Next up was Eric Jones, and what'd you think of him?
I thought I personally thought his magic was a little bit better. I really like the close-up magic. The coin tricks was an interesting take on some things that we've seen before. You had all of the judges up on the stage. He even had Simon sign a $100 bill. It's I'm sure not uncommon for Simon to be carrying around C notes in his wallet. But I was curious at the end of the act. he got the $100 bill, but then he really did nothing with it. It just sat on a table, and the rest of the act involved 4 coins.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it didn't really even need to be 100.
No, it didn't. There was no payoff on the bill at all, except maybe Eric Jones got a signed $100 bill from Simon.
Yeah, I think that's. I don't know if he ever gave it back.
Yeah, I don't think that he did. I also thought his presentation flowed a little bit better this time. He didn't take as long as he has before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was kind of lengthy. I mean, it certainly had some room to breathe, but that's true of every act that we're seeing now, and I liked his presentation as well.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to see him do well. I thought it was pretty good as well. It wasn't the biggest, most blown out thing, but as our only magician besides Colin, I think we could certainly do worse.
Yes, and we've seen worse.
Oh yeah. I think the camera showed the coins under the bill before that reveal came, but it was still pretty good. I was not compelled to toss many votes, but I'm happy to see him do well.
Good.
So after him, we saw Danelle Damon in Greater Works. Danelle really opened up about his story this time. He said, I was informed that the person I thought was my father wasn't, which is pretty interesting reveal. I'm kind of wondering what the details of that story are, because that could mean a lot of things. But I guess, I don't know, kind of, I mean, he certainly made it sound like a really bad situation, so... he's going through that, and they sang an Aerosmith song, right?
Yes. One other thing on his package, he also talked about contemplating suicide while he was in the Navy.
Yeah, yeah.
So jumping off the bow of the ship. Yeah, they sang "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing" by Aerosmith, which is from the movie Armageddon. Did you ever see Armageddon?
No.
Bruce Willis. I think Matt Damon is in that. Liv Tyler, who's
Doctor Who? Is that what she's from?
Liv Tyler? No,
I definitely
she's
recognize that name.
Well, she's the daughter of the lead singer of Aerosmith.
Okay.
Steve Tyler.
Okay.
She is an actress. I don't think she's completely famous. I don't know if she was in Doctor Who. I don't keep up with Doctor Who that much, but she was real famous in that movie as well. It's I think from the early 2000s, maybe late 90s, something like that. It's about an asteroid that's getting ready to hit Earth, and they're sent up to destroy the asteroid. So
okay,
check that out.
Yeah, Liv Tyler was in The Leftovers. That's what I know her from.
Ah, okay, yeah. But that's the famous song from that movie. Everybody knew that song at that time. I didn't feel it. I don't like that they're going this route. I liked them better when they sang gospel songs. I understand why they're going toward this rock and pop and contemporary type direction, but I don't like it. I like them better when they were singing the first couple of songs in auditions and in judge cuts. This was another one I kind of just sat back and listened. I mean, I love Greater Works. I think they're absolutely talented. I just wish they wouldn't sing these type of songs.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this song specifically. I know it from the beginning of Saints Row 4, but I'm not really sure it works anywhere else for me. This was, I think, my favorite performance of theirs, though, but it was not blowing me away, especially on TV and not live. So, yeah, kind of, oh well, I guess.
Yeah, when they finished, I even made a comment, they're going home this week. I didn't like saying that, but I just felt it that people weren't going to relate to this as much. I mean, it seemed like everyone there in the studio or in the theater loved it. I didn't like this that they sang this, and I just felt that they were going to go home this week.
Yeah, I would have been pretty surprised if they made the finals regardless, I think, but I don't know. I mean, it's hard for choirs.
It is hard for choirs, and Simon even commented on that a couple weeks ago, that choirs just don't do well. And I think this is typically about as far as choirs get. I don't think we've ever had a choir get to finals.
I think so too. Um, so goodbye, Greater Works, I guess.
Yep. One final comment, kind of a side note from Greater Works. After they performed, one thing I noticed, Heidi is going casual Tuesdays this week.
What was she wearing?
She was wearing jeans.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so fashion watch for the judges again this week.
Yeah, I guess the top half is more important if you're sitting at that judges table.
I guess so.
So Preacher Lawson was up next. Not Pastor Lawson or whatever people said he was called.
It's too late. It's too late, Sarah.
I thought this was a very well polished set. What did you think?
I think the package was well polished. I think you put the package and his performance together, and this is definitely a winning act.
Yeah, I was really liking that too. That one kind of made me take notice. Like, oh yeah, this feels like semifinals. I mean, the packages have already been very good this season, but they're just top notch now. And Preacher was very good in his.
Absolutely, I'm just so impressed with the packages that AGT is putting together this season. Now we've seen a lot of them, even beginning in auditions, but it just seems each week even the packages are getting better.
Yeah, I agree for sure.
But as far as the performance, I mean, he's even getting better each week. He's getting funnier. He came out to "Son of a Preacher Man," which I thought was really nice. He came out from the audience. He was sitting on the front row, so he didn't come out from the back of the stage. So that was kind of a nice twist on things.
Yeah, that was, I mean, always good to change it up, I guess. I think he has a very distinct comedic voice. I think that's good. And I also thought it was good to see him for more time. This was probably my favorite performance of his because we got to, like, get into it and, get used to his style and everything. So I think he's very good, but he's probably not a comedian that I would watch for an hour. So he's not my favorite, but I'm happy to see him up there.
You've mentioned previously that you've just not really gotten his humor. It sounds like you enjoy it a little bit, but you just don't really totally get it.
Yeah, I guess so. It's I don't know. I like really weird hipster comedy though, so it's not really a knock against him.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't get raunchy, I think, and he kind of stays with this type of comedy, I think this is something that I would go see.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm sure he'd make for a very fun night. Although, I gotta say, Tyra's forehead, I don't even think is really that big.
It's not. I just think he had to find a way to just throw Tyra into his act.
Yeah, did he start that, or was that already like a thing?
I've never heard of that as a thing, so I don't know. He might have started that, but I always like it when these comedians bring the judges into their act.
Okay, yeah, me too. Well, good show from finalist Preacher Lawson.
# forehead crew.
Up next was Johnny Manuel. I was happy to hear that he was doing an original song, but this did not sound like his best performance to me.
No, but it came after the third time we've heard the same story in his package.
Mm-hmm.
Or even maybe the fourth time. I'm okay with him singing an original song. Some of the other songs I haven't been familiar with anyway. And a lot of the songs that are sung on AGT I'm not that familiar with, so they all sound like original songs to me. I was fine with it. Again, one of these that I went back and listened to and didn't really focus. And he's one that's very animated. I've actually enjoyed kind of his animations that he does when he sings much more than Mike Young. So I was okay with this, and I really didn't like that Howie pretty much ostracized him for singing an original song.
Really? I thought Howie had a point with this because he did pretty much the exact opposite of the advice that he said he would follow. they all wanted him to do a diva song, and he was like, "No, I'm not gonna do that." And like, I see his reasoning for that. I really do, but like, obviously, it didn't work out for him.
No, it did not work out for him. But these singers, they have to take that risk. And I think even Simon mentioned that only one risk in music, and that is mediocrity. But they have to take this risk of, do I continue to sing covers my entire career, or do I try to sing something original? And I kind of applaud these singers that at least take the risk and sing an original.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I've always liked the original songs, and if I were him and I didn't like singing diva songs, I would probably do the same thing. But I mean, I think we're kind of past just the don't do original songs part of AGT. I think, how he's like, this song is not the song for you. So I don't know.
Fair enough.
Next up was Billy and Emily England. We heard some pretty detailed accounts of some injuries sustained while doing their act. I mean, man, this really is as dangerous as it looks.
Absolutely. What bones being taken out of her elbow to fix her hip, or
Yeah.
something of that nature. We also find out Emily suffers from stage fright.
Uh huh. So it's interesting coming into this. I thought they actually really delivered on the intensity this time. I think they lived up to the hype and the hype that I've had for them in the live shows. That I don't really think they delivered on this time, but I thought they were really good this time. I like the clever ending with dropping her off the side.
Yes, I had to go back and rewind that about 3 times to see if he did that intentionally. Because I thought, whoa, what just happened to Emily? Did he let go? What happened there? So I think I was kind of in the same boat that the judges were, where I kind of just was in disbelief of what I just saw, and I had to rewind it. Like, did he actually let go, or did she fall, or what happened? So that was a pretty amazing ending.
Yeah, they stepped it up. uh, Howie seemed to like it. Whenever Mel was giving her comments, he was like, "Tell him to vote."
Another thing that they did is she. I don't know if they've done this before, but he had something around his neck, and then she would grab on it with her teeth.
Yeah, I think they've done that before.
They've done that before. Okay, I couldn't remember if I saw that before.
Yeah.
Okay,
Uh, but good show from Billy and Emily. I really like this one.
absolutely. It was a lot of fun to watch.
So next up was Evie Claire. Her situation is not good right now, to say the absolute least. Her dad is really, I mean, they're preparing for everything right now. And her mom actually is sort of has a blog to account this stuff, which is really good and really interesting. And I've certainly been, hoping for the best for them and following this account. And I know you sent me that blog, so I'll link to it in the show notes because I think, it's really good, and fans of Evie might want to check it out. So yeah, all of our thoughts are with them, I think. I've been very sad to hear that things are getting worse.
Yeah, I've kind of been thinking about this as well, because I kind of went through the same thing with my dad a few years ago, and kind of just seeing him deteriorate, and the organs going, and just those last few moments, and everyone around him while he drifts away. So just kind of really been taken to heart with me as well. So definitely been thinking about Evie Claire and her family.
Yeah, Evie is, of course, very brave for performing right now, too, I think.
Absolutely, and her mom and her sister were not at home while her dad's in the hospital, pretty much on life support. So to do this, to be strong the way what she's doing and going through right now is pretty incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. As for her performance, I thought it was really good. I think she sounds so good when she sings gentle like this, and I like her going back to this kind of style.
Agreed. And one thing I've noticed about Evie is when she starts singing, I have a little trouble understanding the words,
Oh, really?
the lyrics. Yes, I mean, and I understand that's kind of her style, and I think I kind of enjoy it a little bit, but when I'm trying to kind of hear what song it is and trying to figure out what song it was, it takes me a little while to figure it out. Because of the way that she sings, it's just difficult to understand the lyrics at the beginning of the song. This time she sang Yours by Ella Henderson. Are you familiar with this song?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I was just curious if you were familiar with it at all. I mean, I wasn't familiar with it either, but it seemed to kind of fit her and fit her situation right now. It just seemed like a very solemn song for what she's going through.
Yeah, I agree. So I really liked it. I thought it was kind of cool at the beginning. There was a line that said, "I've been feeling heavy." It kind of sounded like she said, "I've been feeling Evie." I don't think that was on purpose, but I kind of like that. And also, I think it seems like production keeps overshooting how fast they can clear the stage because we've had a lot of times when we had a package and then a commercial break. So
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's the second time that I've noticed it. I don't know if it happened last week. It may have been the week before. That you're right. They do a package and then they go to commercial break. So I didn't know if that was planned or if that's like you're saying they didn't have enough time to clear the stage.
yeah, I don't think it's planned, but I don't know. It seems kind of like a disadvantage for the act. But
I did like the stage this time. They had flowers all over the place. She was using a pink microphone. I think she used it before, but I think the stage really kind of fit her. I think that everything was just very Evie, or as Simon would call her, Evie.
I know, Simon. How many freaking times have you heard her name by now?
It bothers me so much when someone gets another person's name wrong, especially when it's someone you see almost every single week and you hear her name 100 times. So I don't know if that's a British thing or if he's trying to actually change her name to Evie. So
Yeah,
it's Evie, Simon. Evie.
she's got a lot of evolutions.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, Sarah and Hero were up next. This was not my favorite act of the night. I didn't really like this any more than I liked the last one, which is not a lot. But what did you think?
It's not my favorite act, but I think I'm growing more and more to like Sarah and Hero. I think this week they stepped it up from last week. They said they only had 5 days to really put this together. They went with a kind of a Baywatch beach theme. It was really kind of cool to see Hero give her CPR, or chest compressions at least, and not mouth to mouth. They brought in Loki again, and Simon again messes it up because keeps calling him Lucky.
Yeah.
I think I'm liking Sarah and Hero more and more. I don't want them to win, but I think I'm really starting to like them.
Is that because you feel like you feel the bond between them?
I think that might be a part of it too. That there is a bond between, not just the two of them, but now there's four of them. But I even think that their performance is getting better. The presentation on the stage is getting better. They have a theme each week. They keep adding a few more tricks. I think it's just the performance and the bond, and I think even the bond between us and them is getting a little bit stronger because, and I've mentioned this before, it's just the two, three, four dogs, and not 19 dogs that we don't know who they are.
Yeah, I would say that the presentation has been getting better too. It's probably pretty good for 5 days. But I felt like we were being transported back to quarterfinals with this one. I don't know. It just didn't feel like enough for me. But, oh well.
I mean, you're right. It wasn't the best of this night, but I think that they have improved.
Yeah, sure. It seems like Simon seriously gets annoyed that the dogs don't listen to him.
Yeah, I mean, Get over it, Simon. Call them the right name and maybe they'll behave.
Oh, got him. Next up was Chase Goering. I know you said the song reminded you of What is Love?
Yes.
Uh,
Baby, don't hurt me.
it reminded me of a worse version of How to Love by Lil Wayne. That's a sort of a deep cut Lil Wayne reference there, I guess. But I really did not like this song. I thought it seems like we're finally seeing in full glory the selfish misogyny that underlies all of Chase's songs. I think the lyrics were very bad. I think this kid is very punchable. What did you think?
Okay. I liked it at the beginning. And then he started rapping again. And I was out. And all I kept wanting to do was bob my head and sing, "What is love? Baby, don't hurt me." That's all I wanted to do. And so this is another one I went back and listened to because I was somewhat enjoying it, but I mean, I was out when he started rapping. But I went back and just listened to it, and I was completely out. I mean, I was out at the beginning. For some reason, I just could not get into it. This is one of the someone said that they couldn't wait to hear his songs on the radio. I tried to listen to it like I was listening on the radio, and I couldn't do it.
Oh, man. It didn't live up to it, I guess.
No, it did not. And I got a question for you. Who's Logic?
He is a rapper.
Okay.
I did not think that was a very sensible comparison, but
okay.
I don't know. I haven't heard him that much, I guess.
Okay, I'd never heard of him, and when Howie said that if Ed Sheeran and Logic had a child, it would be Chase, and I was like, what does Logic have to do with anything?
Yeah. So. I guess he's just sort of a calmer white rapper. I don't know. It didn't seem like the best comparison to me.
Okay. My wife did look up the type of singing that Chase does, and she seemed to find out that it is called like pop rap.
Okay. Interesting. So yeah.
What is love?
Chase, don't hurt me. Darci Lynne was up next.
And there's your title, Chase, don't hurt me. That's your title right there.
Awesome. Darci Lynne, I wrote down that she made a vintage reference. I don't know what that means.
Okay, what's the reference?
I don't know. I don't write down enough detail, but what did you think of her performance?
Okay. Well, we have Edna Doorknocker, which I thought was a really interesting name. So she's an octogenarian. I called her, or that's what I called her, was an octogenarian.
What is that?
Old person.
Okay.
It's basically an old person. Octo 80. So it's basically a person that's like at least 80. But it's usually a name for someone that's an old person.
All right.
So it's another old person that likes Simon. I've mentioned this. This is, I think, my favorite act of the season. This is my winner right here. I think she just put another notch in the winner's belt. I think she just helped her cause. We got a singing Trump reference.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, a couple of rounds ago at this point, I guess. Well, just
yeah,
one.
but it's still relevant. I mean, everyone knows who the singing Trump is, and it was a good reference. Everyone knows who the singing Trump was, so it's at least relevant. So I really like this. She sang. What did she sing? I didn't even write the song down. Natural Woman. That's what it was. She sang Natural Woman by Aretha Franklin. So I thought that was kind of fitting for Edna Doorknocker. So obviously this is the best act of the season. This is the winner. I think it's hands down. If it's anybody else, then it's Highway Robbery.
Wow. So you not only now think that she's going to win, but she's like your clear favorite.
She is the clear favorite. Yes. I mean, I don't even think it's close at this point. I think it's got to be her. I don't even think anybody else should show up for finals, and they should just hand it to her right now. So
this is some of the most passionate I've ever heard you.
Yeah, this. I mean, I talked about John Dorenbos and the Clairvoyants, which we'll get into for results. But I talked about several acts last season. This is the most clear runaway favorite I've seen in a while.
Wow, awesome.
So,
I was not converted to a Darci lover on this one.
Please don't tell me that. No, you can't speak like that around here.
I don't. I don't understand it. Tell me why you like this and why she's better than Terry Fator.
I didn't. Oh, wait a minute. No, I didn't say she's better than Terry Fator. I said she's the clear runaway favorite in this season.
All right.
I'm not comparing her to all the past 11 winners. She's obviously not better than Terry Fator. Terry Fator's got way more experience. He's already kind of got a portfolio built up. But as far as this season, she's young, she's cute, she is a ventriloquist. She can sing while she's ventriloquism, if that's even a word. She's got 3 adorable puppets. She interacts with the judges. She did Mel B last week. She did Simon this week. She's got to do Howie next week. I don't know why, but she's just got to do Howie. or in finals. It's kind of all those combinations put together. She's got it all. She's just well-rounded. She can sing. She can do ventriloquism. She's funny. She's absolutely funny. So she's got Preacher Lawson's hilarity. She's got all those singers beat and singing. She's got the ventriloquism thing, and she's a cute 12-year-old. She's got all that, the complete package.
All right. Well, I guess to me, none of those things really stands out. I mean, all of them being pretty good is not as good as one thing being really good, I think, to me. And I mean, if you think they're all really good, then I see that, but I don't. I mean, I would not listen to her singing just to listen to her, and she doesn't really make me laugh. The ventriloquism, I think, is less than perfect, and it seems like she can only kind of do one kind of smile when she does it. But I mean, I'm a harsh critic, I guess, but I will say I am coming around to her possibly being the winner. I think I'm more accepting of that. I know initially you told me people were talking about her being the winner, and I was like, oh, there's no way that's going to happen. But I mean, yeah, she does seem to be the clear favorite among the masses. And I mean, yeah, I think seeing how everybody reacts to her, I think she can definitely pull it.
Absolutely. I'm glad you're coming around a little bit. I mean, I can understand what you're saying, and I'm glad you're coming around a little bit. Let's see what's going on next week, and let's get to finals.
Okay. I mean, I'll stop ragging on her, I guess, except the handwork also didn't seem as strong on this one, but Simon's attraction to older women came back. Got a little callback there. It seemed like he was enjoying this puppet.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he plays along with it. He's a good sport about it.
Yeah, he is. I gotta give him that. So, Darci Lynne, we will see you in 2 weeks.
Yep. And one final kind of side note before we move on to Mike Young. Why is Mel B speaking Armenian now?
It's just a thing at this point. I don't know.
Okay.
She seemed like she had it written down this week. I don't know. It seems like she wants to make it a segment.
Okay.
It's very weird.
It is very weird. Yeah, because they're hair and makeup people are Armenian?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Mike Young was next. I thought this was pretty good, but it was not really working for me. What did you think?
Okay, well, I've talked about this a little bit already, and I'm not a big fan of Mike Young. And I think a lot of it, now that I've kind of talked about what I did, I think a lot of it has to do with the way that he kind of moves about, his mannerisms, the way he moves his hands and he kind of moves his body. I think that may be a lot to do with not being a big fan of Mike Young. But after I kind of just sat back, closed my eyes, and just listened to him sing, I was like, I really enjoyed that. That was really good. I think I was just too focused on the way he moves his hands and moves about. And when I actually just listened to him sing, I was like, wow, that's That's really good. And maybe it was the song choice. Don't Give Up on Me, which I've listened to another Joe Cocker song. I thought it really fit him. I thought it was really, really good.
Well, I mean, I'm glad that you like him now. I kind of thought this one was a step down for me, though. I thought it was a little boring, honestly. So, sorry, Mike.
I think I cursed him too because I haven't been a fan of his this entire time. And he keeps moving on and on and on. And now that when I say I actually enjoyed it,
Oh,
so.
yeah. Uh, well, that was the last performance of the night, so we can start talking about results now. Duncan's save was Eric Jones, Evie Claire, and Chase Goring. I voted for Evie out of this.
Good. I
Yeah.
think that's a good choice.
I was thinking that Chase would probably win Judge's Choice as well, although at first I couldn't remember if there was a Judge's Choice in semifinals, but turns out there is. Our first real result was Preacher Lawson and Greater Works. Yeah, I was wanting Preacher for this, and that's who I was predicting. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned earlier that I had a comment that Greater Works was going home, and when I saw it against Preacher Lawson, I was hoping that it wasn't going to be an upset and that Preacher Lawson would go through, and I'm glad that he did. I want him to stay in. I want him to do well. I mean, we just went on like a 5-minute talk about Darci Lynne, so I don't think that Preacher's going to win. I think he will be in the top 5. So yeah, Howie made a weird comment. A comic like him comes around once in a lifetime, and then I think he corrected himself and said once in a decade.
Yeah. He's a big, big fan.
Yeah, he is a big fan, and I think he's a big fan just because he's the only comedian in the show.
Yeah.
But he has. I mean, he should be a big fan. Preacher's good.
Uh-huh.
So.
I like the shot of him walking off, too. We get to kind of see them congregate over there in the winner's corner, I guess.
Yes, over there, off the stage a little bit.
So next up was Johnny and Yoli, and I was predicting they would do a neither on this, and that's kind of what I was hoping for, honestly, because neither of these wowed me. But did you see this coming?
I did not, no, and I should have, because doing the math, they needed to do a neither to go through. I'm not sure why I didn't anticipate it, so good on you for catching that. I actually thought it might be Yoli going through and not Johnny. Again, it's another one of those that both of them are good. It's kind of sad to see that they both went home. Tyra kind of had a flub, but she didn't know what was coming. So she said, one of you will be going through the next round. And then it was, oh, whoops, neither of you are going through.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't think it was really her fault. I think Simon kind of made a big deal out of it because he wanted them both to go through. But yeah, I mean, it would have made sense for Yoli to go through for sure. I think this might have been the first time they did a neither this season, but I don't know.
I think you're right. It's mainly been both in each round, and I don't think at this point, because I think it's kind of an odd number, that they did a neither.
Right. So after that, we got Buzzer Buddies, which was decent again, I guess.
It was okay, yeah. It's kind of fun to see the judges do a quiz show against each other.
Yeah. And then the Clairvoyants performed, and
yes.
I just miss them so much. They are amazing.
They are amazing, and you and I both went out and looked to see what their schedule is like, and they are in Austria.
Yeah.
So it's like from now for a long time they're just performing around Austria. But this was a fabulous performance. I miss them so much.
Yeah. How do you feel like they compare to Colin Cloud? I mean, I know you've made that comparison before.
Oh, I think that they are better than Colin Cloud. I like Colin Cloud. I think he's great, but they are way better than he is.
Okay, awesome.
They just make it look so effortless, and the way that because there's two of them, so the way that they kind of interact together. Amelie, just the way that she just kind of, she worked with Mel B. The way they just kind of interact with each other, it's just effortless. Just like it's just so natural, like they actually can read minds and make things happen.
Yes, they're delightful.
So, yes, I know.
Okay, so next up was Darci Lynne and Mike Young. I was wanting, well, I won't say it, but I predicted Darcy out of this.
Wait, you were wanting Mike Young over Darci Lynne at this point?
Based on their prior bodies of work, I was, yes.
Okay. Now, I was pretty sure Darcy was going to go through, but I was still a little nervous just because you never know. We've seen stuff like this happen before. And I was just thinking, if Mike Young goes over Darcy, this would have been the last podcast that I would have done. So,
yeah, she was bringing out her puppet for brand strengthening, I guess.
Yeah, she had to carry that puppet around the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, she was standing up on the stage holding that, and then Tyra sends her off stage with Preacher, and she's just having to stand there and hold that the whole time.
I know. So yeah, I am becoming convinced she could win this too. I'm sure we'll make more finals performance predictions once we have our entire finalist lineup. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
Fair enough. Good.
So Sarah and Hero and Billy and Emily England were up next. I was really wanting Billy and Emily from this, but I was predicting Sarah and Hero.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Billy and Emily as well. In fact, I was a little shocked to see that it was Sarah and Hero. I enjoyed their performance, but I thought people would vote for Billy and Emily over Sarah and Hero. So that just shows, as Simon said, America does like America does like dogs. They sent every dog and cat to vote for them, so apparently it worked.
Yeah. I mean, this is a sad way for Billy and Emily to go down, I think, to dog act, but oh well. I mean, I don't want to just rag on Sarah too much, but this act does not feel like a finalist in any other season to me.
I agree, and I do like them, but they do not feel like a finalist, and I was kind of hoping that this would have been their last performance.
Yeah. So then Evie went through, and we were whittling down our dunk and save options. I was definitely wanting Eric out of these two. They showed a little montage. And then they went to commercial, because I knew the 8 minutes for Judge's Choice was too good to be true. And then after...
But Howie would eat all 8 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. So after Mel went, and she actually voted for... how did this go? Simon went first, right?
No, Heidi went first.
Okay, Heidi picked Eric, right? And then Mel went for Chase. And I was really seeing a tie unfolding at this, because Simon's obviously going to pick the singer, and then, Howie tends to trend variety. And but yeah, sour surprise from Howie, I guess.
Yeah, as I was watching this, something happened at the very end, and I didn't get to see Howie's pick, and then it just immediately it just ended. So, did Howie actually pick Chase?
He did, yeah.
Okay. So 2 weeks in a row, Howie finally listened to our podcast. He got tired of me calling them cowards for not making decisions, and we finally get 2 weeks in a row where they pick the winner.
Thank you, Howie.
And I just don't know why Howie always has to go last.
Yeah, I don't either, but it's kind of fun to see him squirm sometimes, I guess. But really good pair of episodes here, really good week. A lot of fun talking about it. It's a good wrap up, I think. Of course, we do have some things left in the show. First and foremost, who's winning the draft?
Okay, so this week you lost Eric Jones, and I lost Billy and Emily. But I had Chase Goring go through, and Evie and Darci Lynne go through, and you had Preacher go through. So that gave me 6 points for the week, and you 2 points. So the total right now is I'm up 14-8.
Dang.
But most of our stuff is most of our stuff is next week. So next week there's 4, 6, 7, 8. We have 9 between the two of us. 9 performances next week.
Ultimate showdown. That is going to
Yeah.
be intense. So next week performing we have Angelica Hale, Celine Tam. That's going to be quite the showdown. Christian Gardino, Colin Cloud, Diavolo, In the Stairwell, Ketchy, Light Balance, Mandy Harvey, Merrick Hanna, and the Pompeo family.
I cannot believe that they're bringing the Pompeo family back.
Yeah, that's not how I would have picked this wild card, but I guess we needed some more dog showdowns, perhaps, if they make it through, which, anything can happen.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that they won't go through. This is a pretty stiff grouping that we have now. So a lot can happen, and we could have some very very good acts go home next week.
Yeah, we got 7 singers, even more dancers. It's gonna be very musical.
Yes, it is. No variety acts, right? Light balance. Well, no variety acts. Colin Cloud, if you want to consider that.
Yeah, Colin is the only one who will have words in his performance, I think, that aren't singing. He's
True.
gonna talk.
Yep.
Um, so get ready for a lot of top 40 background music, I guess. But I'm really excited to see Light Bounce again, for sure. Mandy Harvey is this week. We thought she would be in semifinals 1, but she's in semifinals 2. So there's some stuff I'm really looking forward to.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be action packed.
Yeah, and so finally, I guess we will talk about our plans for these upcoming episodes and how we're going to cover them.
Yeah. So next Wednesday, September 13th, I will actually be leaving on vacation for about 10 days. I'm going to LA, weird enough. And I was hoping to catch an AGT taping while I was there. That's finale week. I was hoping to get into the finale performance to watch that, but sadly, on-camera audiences released the vouchers, and I was not one of them. So I'm reaching out to our listeners. I'm begging and pleading. If anyone has available vouchers, I would love to have a couple and go see a performance, and then I can report on that. But beside that, we're going to have probably a little change in our schedule. Since I will be on vacation, I'll have to find time during my vacation to record the show, or watch the shows and record them. So we may not be on our normal schedule of releasing on Thursday evening for semifinals 2 and even the finals. Might be a little delayed on that. We will not wait until I get back. We will get both recordings in a timely manner, but they just may not be on the exact days or right after the performances happen.
Yeah, and that also means that we won't be doing any live streams. Last year, I tried doing one by myself, and it was not well received. So that's kind of, yeah, we're just regular podcasts on a different schedule. So, yeah, thanks for sticking with us, everybody.
Yeah, we appreciate it. So reach out to us on Twitter and email us if you have any comments.
Yes, please do. At AGT Time, agtcast@gmail.com. Weird contact form on our website, agtcast.com. However you want to do it. But we really appreciate everybody listening, and we will see you at some point next week.
Have a good one.